World Myths within Japanese mythology. They describe the origins of the world and include tales about the gods of the Japanese pantheon. According to these works, Jimmu descended from the sun goddess Amaterasu. That is why he had the right to rule the country. Indeed, it was the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki that legitimized the rule of the Japanese emperor. These are Hanuele-type myths, like those commonly found not only in Indonesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia, but also all across the Americas. The Kojiki and Nihon Shoki contain such stories of a larger world within them. Both the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki recount the story of when the god Izanagi traveled to the underworld in search of his wife, who had passed away, just as Orpheus had done in ancient Greek mythology. Another story that describes how grains and silkworms arose from the body of a slain goddess is similar to the so-called Hanuele-type myths found across many regions as dispersed as Southeast Asia, Oceania, and South America. How did Japanese mythology come to include the same stories as other mythological traditions from around the world? International exchange was already taking place in Japan during the Jomon period 13,000 years ago. Japan absorbed influences from far-flung regions of the world as it shaped and nurtured its own unique animistic faith known as Shinto, which has an infinite pantheon of gods residing in all things. The Jomon period, hunting and gathering. To do that, we must first talk about why Nara became the birthplace of Japan. Surrounded by mountains, the swamp shone like a mirror. Humans began inhabiting the dry land higher up. The people lived by hunting wild deer and gathering nuts. They prayerfully created beautiful earthenware vessels. That was about 13,000 years ago during the Jomon period. The land remained calm and peaceful for the next 10,000 years or so. The Yayoi period, the advent of agriculture. Eventually, people from the Asian mainland crossed the sea and arrived in the area. They shared knowledge on how to control the waters and cultivate rice. The fertile land that was once a seabed was transformed into productive rice paddies. It was the beginning of the Yayoi culture. Emperor Jimmu, the birth of Japan. The Nara basin is surrounded by a natural barrier called the Yamato Aogaki. The fertile utopia was called Mahoroba. One after the other, the minor kings from all over the Japanese islands set their sights on taking the Mahoroba. One of these kings, Jimmu, came from Kyushu and reached the pinnacle, coming to dominate all the other minor kings of the Japanese islands. The ancient chronicles of the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki recorded this legend as marking the birth of the imperial court of Yamato, or in other words, the nation of Japan. Written around 1,300 years ago, these are the oldest written works in Japan. The arrival of iron led to the production of iron farming tools, which enabled even higher yields. The people soon began forging the iron into weapons as the kings fought to take each other's riches. The new wealth had brought not only affluence, but also conflict. The Kofun period, minor kings. To display their power, the kings began to compete over who could build the biggest tombs. Those are the giant mounds called Kofun.
Like the Egyptian pyramids.
That's right. They were royal tombs. Some of them even exceed the pyramids of Giza in length, even if they might not be as high. There are more than 700 such burial mounds in the city of Nara alone. Kings were buried with numerous treasures, such as Magatama beads of jade or agate, bronze mirrors, crowns and shoes of gold. Glass beads were brought from places far away along the Silk Road. Nara was the eastern terminus of the Silk Road.
So it's been an international city since ancient times.
Excavations also turn up iron armor, helmets, and weapons. Terracotta Haniwa figures have been found buried in the ground around the tombs as well. They were meant to protect the royals after death. There are Haniwa servants, animals, houses, weapons, and even adorable deer. You can see such Haniwa figurines at the museum in Kashihara.